The Mabo ruling is set to cause uproar, with claims it could lead to a form of apartheid.
Mabo continued to dominate national debate this week.
The economic and political future of Australia has been put at risk and our territorial integrity is under threat.
Mabo establishes a fundamental truth and lays the basis for justice.
Wable sai wa basikak na sesel dawen. Dilsira wem maskera sisi. Kairlo ya wana agri mari wana kala rekweki. Mama agekar, mama nali.
Kanole abi tutida.
Mari are pare boy gize mari nardarda. Ma barsire ra bedorge.
Kino bat kapie.
Mari nardari ma barsire bedorge ma usura ri ri manawer.
Katuba ari nawer.
Koiki Mabo. Gelari de emetu mari naud body.
Kalagla kari vermem.
Ma umur ka batui.
Eno kebi verem dali.
Chlorine de nako dike poar. Ma penali pema ma bakamu chlorine ni batomer.
Kebile basketa melanium. Yokata priklui kebile. Ma pema karamar bitu verem nali. Batawe ke Amerika. Okipa wam. Orer kiri.
I want to exile you off the island for a year. I told them I could offer you a better alternative. Stay on the island, come work on my green truck.
What? With all them poor fellas carting garbage off the streets for not a red penny. Nah. Not Koiki Mabo. You got the wrong fella, Mr. Kalori.
How does it work, Eddie? The Act, remind me. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Protection Act. Right, what does it mean? Protection. You're too young, too hot-headed, and I protect you from yourself.
I'll go to the mainland. Work on the railways out west. They pay real money there.
But will you? Right, you got to pass the railway medical first, and you got a bad eye.
I'm not working as a slave.
Then go and say goodbye to Benny and Micah.
Eddie Mabo?
It's me, Mrs.
You're here for the Railways medical? Yes?
That's right.
We'll do the eye test first. Come this way, please.
Dear Mum and Dad, I'm keeping out of mischief. Sometimes it's so hot, I can only manage cornflakes. I spend most nights sleeping on top of the water tank. Only place you can get a bit of breeze out here. The weather is still hot and dry. I think it's gonna be dry until the end of the world.
Then you got the Hornybrook site, marathon siding. Now you got blokes out there working double shifts, you know, and there's all kinds of garbage going on with the safety.
Mate, these blokes, they are hot to trot. Now, you know, most of the guys up there, they're 20% blacks, and they're all Islander blokes.
All right, well, that means that we need to have a serious recruitment drive among the blacks. What's your name, mate?
Eddie Mabo.
Eddie. Now, I'm assuming you're here because you want to know what the union can do for you, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Works two ways, Eddie. Now, we help you blokes by helping our own, and vice versa. You with me?
I think I got a fair idea what you're going on about.
Well, that's good to hear, Eddie.
Dear Dad, there's a lot more fellas coming from the islands now. I've been joining them up to the union to make sure that we get a fair go.
Yeah, my shot.
We'll have five.
You, out the back.
Oh, come on, mate.
So how many was it? 4.
Bit rough.
They're very pleased.
I come back.
Hey, girls! Come say g'day.
Come on, what you doing?
I don't want to get up there again.
Can I help you? Are you looking for someone?
Young girl, blue bow.
Netta?
Netta.
Yes, Netta.
Can I
Oh, do you want to talk to her?
Yeah, please.
Just a minute.
Nera.
It's Bonita, actually.
That's a pretty name.
That's what it means in Spanish.
What?
Pretty in Spanish.
In Spanish.
But people call me Netta.
I'm Koiki. White fella's name Eddie, but it's Koiki for real.
Koiki. Sounds cheeky. Cheeky Koiki.
Koiki. That's, I like that. So why didn't you say good day when I called up before?
It was in the pub. I thought you might have been drunk. I don't like drink.
No. Me too. I mean, you gotta be sociable. But no, not at all. So, you stopping in town? I mean, maybe I can walk you home later.
I better go with my sister.
Yeah. Suit yourself.
How dare you bring that devil's filth in here? Is that drink?
You know the drill. Empty your pockets.
Jardine Valley sighting, September 1959. Dear Benita, I'm writing to you because I feel I must owe you an apology for my behavior at your cousin's wedding. It was the farthest thing from my mind to show any disrespect or to cause any offense to you or to your family, all of whom I wish only the very best. Yours sincerely, Eddie Koiki Mabo. land.
PMG delivery. Now, where's that reading getting you, eh? Black flag job. That's all you're gonna get. Or you're gonna be Prime Minister next, are you?
Aziawali pekau e namarikta mariam. Kedi rakotomi. Ablewag beope mwamli. Epeike marawag. Saker.
Eddie Mabo?
Davey Mabo?
Dear Koiki, thank you for your letter. I've spoken to my mother, and she says it would be quite all right for you to continue to write to me. It has been a very nice winter here at Halifax, and now we're just beginning to see the first of the cane flowers, which are very nice, except they give my nana asthma.
Dear Benita, you know, I felt very downhearted when I left you. I wonder how did you feel at that moment?
You have been in my thoughts since your letter arrived.
I think of you every day.
I wonder if you might like to visit us.
Saving us to make a trip, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Can't wait till you arrive.
We also welcome Koiki into this family. And Lord, keep him safe and bless him. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. This looks beautiful.
I made the rice.
Did not.
I helped.
You first.
I grabbed the sweet potato too.
This octopus here, called Marlo. And been travel through rain, wind, and storm. And finally, I'm land on Murray Island. Okay, enough now. You just scoot. Quick, hurry up, hurry up. Yeah, scoot, quick. Go.
Wait for me.
I'm gonna take you to Murray one day.
That sounds all right.
The weather's coming in. On Murray, we've all got our own wind. When you feel it on your cheek, you know your ancestors are there. This wind here, we call it Sager. It's my wind. Oh yeah, another thing too. The winds love magic. If you love someone, you stand in the breeze and the wind will take your scent to them.
They love you back?
They love you back. She's not from Murray, but she's willing to come back. We've got a plan, her and me. Get some money, get a bit of savings behind us. We'll be coming back for sure, Mum. For sure we'll be coming back.
Should I let myself go in his direction? Is his love strong enough for my heart's protection? I don't know. I don't know. But he loves me so good till I think I should. Oh.
Now that's the eye of the dugong there. Look, now that's a sacred place. Can you draw?
I'm cleaning up your mess.
Oh, well, big deal anyway. My money, I earned it.
When are we actually going to get money for food?
Hey, they're at it again. It's getting worse. Go check on them.
Hey!
You just punched me, you bastard!
Hey, go there!
What you doing?
I'm sick of this place! We're all homesick, brother. I'm sick of being me.
Well, who you want to be, huh? Who you want to be? Mr. Whitefella Hornybrooker.
I want to be you. Reading your dictionary, talking in the union, talking big words I never even heard of.
You got to settle down, bro.
No! All them say it. On the railway. Koiki's the one.
Hey, you listen to me, brother. You're the only mate I got out here. You don't bloody go down. Don't you go down.
What? It's toilet kerosene! It's toilet kerosene! As much as you can, get him to drink milk, it leads to burning! Go get an ambulance! Get an ambulance!
Doesn't seem to have actually swallowed much, but his throat and the top of his esophagus are badly burned. I'd like to keep him in here for a couple of hours. After that, if he's all right, you can take him home tonight.
But the train don't leave until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Get the train tomorrow. Get a cheap hotel tonight, eh?
Okay. No rooms. They reckon it's full.
Oh, what? He swallowed kerosene. We need to stop for the night. Go to Jardine tomorrow. Just tonight. Just the night.
I'm sorry, love, but we're filled overflowing tonight.
You haven't even got one room? Look, we can make do with a single.
Well, I'd help you out if I could, but...
Of course you would. One stinking room. One miserable stinking room.
What? They think we're gonna leave our black skin on their bloody sheets, huh?
I don't want to stay here, Netta. I don't want to raise him up in this place.
Oi, Eddie, you going to union meeting this Arvo?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Good, I'll see you there, mate.
Next meeting, there's a couple of things I want to raise to skilling up some of the island boys.
Oh, yeah, well, if you want to raise stuff, mate, do it yourself. Hey, you've got a voice, haven't you? What's a 4X's 246? Thanks, mate.
5.
Oh, no, 6. 6, mate.
can't read, brother. Sorry to hear that.
Mate, it's not me, it's the law.
Eddie's not back from work yet. He said they got a union meeting. Would you mind minding the kids while I go to work? They've had their tea.
No worries, love. I'll bring mine in.
They're asleep.
Where's Eddie?
Oh, I don't know, Netta. He didn't come home.
He didn't call?
Nothing. They're
Netta.
fine.
Where the bloomin' heck have you been?
Hi, Norma. In the lockup.
Oh, don't bore me. Poor Norma. She's been sitting up there with the kids all night. Thanks. You been out grogging with the communists?
I never had a drop. Been in the lockup. Yeah, look. Here's the papers. Read.
What have you done now?
Hey, you fellas gonna include me in the joke?
No joke, mate. They reckon up in the office that you're the Viet Congs.
I quit.
You did what?
I told them to stick their job. They cut my pay. They put me on the show with a stinking sledgehammer.
That's what you get for mixing with communists.
It's not against the law to be in the union. It's not against the law to be black.
You've already been in the bloomin' lockup, Quickie. What's going to happen next? Get another job, lose that one? All over town you'd be known as a communist, and then what?
I'm not a communist. And even if I was, they're the only ones who want to do anything for black causes.
Black causes. Now I've heard everything. People like us, we can't afford to be troublemakers.
Nera. People like us have no choice but to be troublemakers. Because if we don't have any pride left.
I'll give you stinking pride. You got 3 kids, stupid man. 4th on the way. Healthy, happy kids, what more do you want? Kids got to be fed, got to have clothes on their back. How many prawns I got to pack, huh? How many stinking prawns in the middle of the night standing there like a bloomin' flamingo? Coming home on that push bike, 2 o'clock in the morning. Coming home to an empty house because my old man's in a lockup. I'm not having it, Corky. I'm not bloomin' having it.
Pity's sake, woman.
If you don't stop mixing with those commos, I'm leaving you. And I'm taking the kids.
That idiot girl the other day served all the white people before you. And what did you do?
I told her to ring it up, and I told her I didn't want it no more.
She was wild, was she?
She was wild.
I've been talking to some people in the Aboriginal Advancement League in Cairns. They reckon I should start up a branch down here. The waterside workers, they say they'd support it. We gotta get together. That's how the union get things done. They get together. They lobby, they fundraise, and they fight to make things better.
Well, how you reckon we're going to do all this? Make all this stuff better?
Any way we can. We set up a housing co-op, schools for black kids. We walk around the streets with leaflets, organise dances for blackfellas to raise money. And we march with the unions on May Day.
Right under the government's nose.
That's right.
And what kind of havoc all this dancing and leaflet and marching going to play in my varicose veins? Eh? Koiki Mabo?
I don't care whether we would lay down our lives.
I sincerely hope that those who have been plotting violence and disorder will understand that their intentions are known and that they will not be tolerated by the government.
What do they say is wrong with you that they can't serve you?
Well, they just say we don't serve Aboriginal people. And they don't give you any reason. They say we don't serve Aboriginal people, and that's it.
And are Aboriginals allowed to go into the theatre
Yes, they go in by that door over there.
and sit in a separate section?
Yes.
Oh, that's Eddie. He's the gardener. That's his favourite spot.
Hello there.
Good day.
Have I seen you in the library?
May I have? There's no law against that, is there?
Just unusual to see a gardener in the library.
You mean it's unusual to see a black fella in the library?
No. Let's start again. I teach Aboriginal history and anthropology. I just saw you reading like a man transfixed, and I wondered what you're looking at.
A bloke called Haddon.
The Cambridge expedition, 1898. What'd you make of it?
He's got bits of it, right? Most of it's rubbish.
Something we both agree on?
We do.
No loose.
Eddie Mabo.
Eddie Mabo, Henry Reynolds. Henry writes a lot about Aboriginal history.
So you have an interest in Indigenous issues?
Where do you want to start? I mean, the Indigenous Housing Co-op, I'm the chairman. The Black Community School, I'm the headmaster. Hell of a job getting that going, I tell you.
It's not an easy path, Eddie, the road of the activist. Never has been, but in a climate like this, with Joe in government, it's even worse. The Special Branch have got files on everyone who ever attended a demonstration in this state. They'll know every move you make and who you make it with, and they will find a way to silence you.
What more can they do to me that hasn't already been done? I've lost jobs. I've been in the stinking lockup. What more can they do? I love this song.
You're a drop of the hat silk, darling. Drop of the hat silk. Henry wants you to stop, doesn't he?
I can't stop, Netta. Might as well curl up and die right now. I can't stop.
I know, darling. I know.
I've been licked, washed up for years, and I merely survive because of my pride. And this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. Don't forget tomorrow's homework. My woman left and she didn't say why. Taxi's in, all aboard. Well, I guess I have to ride.
You stay here with Mum, eh? Netta, I'll drop this last mob off and then I'll come back, eh? Okay. Come on. Okay. Watch your legs there.
I'm playing for time. There've been times I find myself thinking of committing.
Hey, kids, settle down. Get your bags for home now. Come on.
Did I do that?
No. Last one in's a rotten egg.
Move.
Koiki, Mabo.
Netta, you've forgotten what today is, haven't you?
What's today?
Anniversary.
No, it's not.
The school has been running for exactly 200 days. Gotcha.
Oh, well. We ought to celebrate. Get some of that pink lemonade, eh?
Sop, yams. Maybe cake with icing. Mabo household.
Koiki.
Mom,
Mau duduk nge tabagedim. Apa idali kim?
How long is it again?
it's 12 hours in the boat from here to Mari, darling.
Oh, you lot! Don't get wet, we're going soon.
No, this can't be right.
What's it say?
April 11, permission not granted yourself and party to visit Murray Island. Give me a pen, quick. Wait, yeah, turn around. They've been doing this to me since I was 19 years old.
Who? Who's doing this?
Lauren, the council, all of them. Ang hipoteca di sanggup bagian perempuan.
Que me le pas que
It's just cruel what they did. Clorin and the council. They just didn't deny me. The bees denied my father. It made him die without being able to look his son in the eye and fulfill tradition. Got this plan of one day going back up, setting up my shack up there once the kids have done their schooling and live the old traditional way.
Eddie, you know the land's not technically yours. Legally, I mean, government owns it.
Well, if they own it, they can take it away.
Technically, yes, they can regazette it as whatever they like.
Now, this can't be right. We've been farming on that place since before you mob set foot on that land. We handed down from father to son. How can we not own it? We're not just another bunch of Aborigines chucked off their lands and shoved into dormitories. What about our law? What about Meriam law? I own that land. I own that land as much as we own this house. I can prove it 5 generations at least. If anyone tries to tell me that I don't own that land, I'm gonna walk into Clorin's office with a shotgun.
Mapema piadram kibile nali. Zokopeike merbidoge.
I'm a Piadram man. My ancestry come from Las. That's my land. And that's the sitting place of Malo.
So you reckon you own the land because some giant octopus said you do?
My people won those islands for 16 generations. You think some white fella sticking a Union Jack in the sand wipes out 16 generations?
What happened then after Marlo named the 8 clans?
He taught us the law.
And what's Marlo's law?
Malo tug, mousey, mousey. Malo keeps his hands to himself. He does not touch what is not his.
Malo tag moki moki. Teter moki
He
moki.
does not let his feet carry him to someone else's land.
Malo tag tupamite tupamite. Teter tupamite tupamite.
He does not wander from the path. He walks on tiptoe, silent and careful, leaving no signs that this is the way he took.
Good boy. Kai now.
The Yirrkala claim failed because Justice Blackburn didn't accept that a nomadic people could demonstrate any traditional property right that could be recognised by Anglo-Australian law. He also believed that the Yolngu's links were overtaken when the land was settled by a quote, more virile and industrious nation.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Barbara, but I think it's been pretty clear to a number of us for a while now that it might be time to revisit the land rights issue. The High Court found in favour of a form of native title in PNG. They could well be open to it here. To our Indigenous friends, we say this: now is your time.
You couldn't find more virile and industrious people than us.
We've been farming the land since time immemorial. We've never left it.
We've got a system of land ownership and inheritance. We cultivate the land. The links are, what did you say? Active and unbroken. We can't lose.
Well, we need an actual plaintiff.
Me.
Me?
All of us. I'm taking the government to court.
You're taking the government to court?
Not just one government, 2 governments. I'm gonna make history. I am the son of Bini Mabo. I am a Meriam man from the Piadram clan. I am the descendant of the Ait and the Zogole. And I'm gonna make history. Auntie Salua, Koikia.
Hello.
I'm taking the government to court to get our land.
Huh?
It's a secret mine. Big secret. I need your help.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Ron, it's Greg McIntyre from the Aboriginal Legal Service in Cairns. Look, Barb Hockey and I are putting together a case that you might be interested in.
Go on.
We'll both be in. And the Pussy Brothers. Sam and Dave. What?
Eddie Mabo in Townsville. He wants to run a land rights claim in the Torres Strait. There's no money in it, of course. You interested?
Is this the one, do you think?
You're gonna have to think very carefully, Brian. It'll pretty much shape the rest of your career. It'll dictate the kind of briefs you're offered, but more importantly, the ones you're not. The big mining companies, pastoralists, probably the government.
Yeah, I think I probably would have worked that one out.
Well, now I've said all that. Yes. I think this might be the one.
Good morning, Department of Aboriginal Affairs, Director's Office.
Meryl, I'm going to need the Premier's office. I'll need Joe.
It's a clever, snide way of getting something for nothing. They have nothing to contribute, and then they expect to get a lot out of it. The royalties out of the uranium mines and the value of the land. But all I want to say is they are not Aboriginal people, and they are getting away with what you might term murder in the sense that they are climbing on the backs of the true Aboriginals.
Brian Keane Cohen.
Are you the one running this Mabo case?
It's 11:30 at night.
Are you running the Mabo case or not?
Yes. Yes, who is this?
My name's Morgan. I'm a Labor backbencher in Queensland. Well, listen, I haven't got much time. The division's about to start. Basically, Bjelke wants to kill off this Mabo thing. It's called the Queensland Coast Islands Declaratory Act. Retrospectively extinguishes all native title on the Torres Islands from the time of white settlement.
They can't do that, can they?
This is Queensland, mate. They already have. It's up for its final reading tonight. There's not a damn thing we can do to stop it.
The land laws governing islands in the Torres Strait were changed overnight. The Bjelke government introduced radical legislation intended to head off land rights claims in the region. And as MPs got to their feet to argue for and against the legislation, many of their colleagues slept soundly in their seats.
And they did it in such a way that they broke every rule in the book as regards standing orders. It's a marathon session. It's unprecedented, and I think it's uncalled for.
Nera! Nera! Where's my good shirt?
It's there.
The other good shirt.
It's in the wash.
I'm going to Melbourne. I gotta meet with the lawyers. Bjelke's passed down a law to kill us off.
What? Well, what about work? Can't keep ringing in saying that you're sick all the time.
How am I gonna go to work when all of this is going on, woman? Use your brains.
You can't keep flying around the country like this. How are we going to pay for it?
Where's the other shirt?
One good shirt's as good as another good shirt.
It's not. I wanted that one.
What's the matter with you? I've been laying out your clothes every day of your life for 21 years. Even put that bloomin' tie clip there. And now you decide you want a different shirt.
It's white. This one's sort of cream.
So?
It makes me look blacker. I want to look black.
You are black.
I'm gonna meet my lawyers and I want to look black.
Darling. This is big. Hey.
Well, basically, the Coast Island Declaratory Act is designed to knock us out of the ring. They said as much on the floor of Parliament.
Bjelke's doing this because they're scared. They know I've got a case, and I could win.
Well, we can challenge the Bjelke law in the High Court, but that would be a separate case to the land claim. In the meantime, I think we should proceed with the land claim and see where it gets us, on the understanding that ultimately we're going to have to knock out the Bjelke law
or the Mabo claim can't win.
Proceed with the land claim case.
In that case, I need you to sign this.
Impecunious.
Yeah, it means...
means have little or no money.
Yeah. It's the legal aid application. The case is broke.
Dependent spouse?
Yes.
Number of dependent children?
How old?
Under 16.
3.
When were you dismissed?
I've never been dismissed in my life. I'm running a legal case against the government. I mean, I can't work at the moment because I have to concentrate on...
It'll be 6 weeks before your next payment. Rental assistance, contact the Department of Housing if you need any emergency assistance during that time, and contact Salvation Army. Read the booklet on compliance obligations.
Thank you.
In an historic first, the Supreme Court of Queensland is due to hear evidence in the Torres Straits this week. The controversial case, led by a group of Murray Islanders, is challenging the rights by restricting facial safety. The Minister, Bob Catter, had
And Eddie is pursuing 2 goals. One, he wants to get back there and own a very large proportion of Mer Island, and he wants to use that as a springboard for power. I don't think he should be trying to take land off the local people by an action run by European lawyers, funded by public taxpayer from his home in Townsville.
Say good day to Murray Islander.
G'day, Murray.
Oh, Lord. Captain Cook's arrived all over again.
We ask thee to send thy most wonderful blessing upon this food, that we may receive strength, both physically and spiritually, and bring us all into everlasting life through Christ our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Shut up.
It is perhaps apposite that I remark that this is a historic occasion, since it is the first sitting of the Supreme Court of Queensland on Murray Island. Sitting here helps me to understand the evidence concerning Murray Island people and its culture, and most importantly, allows the people of Murray Island to participate to a degree in the process of justice that's being worked out in these proceedings.
Your name is Jack Wailu?
Yes. Koiki, we have looked at your nomination for council and we can't accept it.
Why?
Because you don't live here. You haven't lived here for nearly 30 years.
But I'm moving back. When I win this land rights claim, I'm moving back.
Koiki, what happens if you don't win?
I will win it. We will win. Is to get rid of Terra Nullius.
A lot has changed in 30 years.
Terra Nullius hasn't. And also the fact that I am descendant Bo'ait from Las, with a direct line Pozogole of Malo. What's the matter with you people? This is the most important thing that will happen to this island in 200 years. Everybody see it. Why can't you?
What we see is that while you have been down south doing all your troublemaking and all your agitating, We have been trying year in and year out to get a decent deal with Paddy Caloran. You have been permitted to address the Island Council, the elected Island Council. You have addressed it. Thank you.
They had rocks in their heads back then. They still got rocks in their heads.
Oi! Dave Pussy said you claimed 36 blocks of land. Well, another one claimed 9.
Hey, I only claim one of mine by inheritance.
Well, people say you're 8. You don't even bloody stay here. You're not taking my land.
Hey, it's not about your land or my land, you bloody idiot. It's about people, bro.
Stop it right now, you two. Behave like grown-ups. Clucky, I'm leaving.
Okay, we're going to flush out all the family history stuff first. Steal their thunder. You okay with that?
We'll call it the next few days and don't look now, but they've got us surrounded.
All rise. This honourable court is now in session. Justice Moynihan presiding. Please be seated.
Yes.
You want to see me, Mr. Caloran?
Georgie boy, yes. Take a seat. Your brothers are involved in this Eddie Mabo business, aren't they, Sam, David?
Yes, sir.
Very, very, very silly boys. And Joe's been hurt by this, badly hurt. And the way he sees it, and I've got to agree, is he got you black fellas out from under the Act, and how'd you pay him back? Turned around, spit in his face with all this land rights nonsense. Won't end well at all. There's this extra funding for the school. A lot of houses up there need painting. I've been fighting to get this for Murray, but now Eddie Mabo is a smooth talker, always was. But he can't win the case. And do you know what happens when you lose a case like this, Georgie? You get costs awarded against you. And Mabo's gone and got himself a Melbourne silk. That's right. Bunch of Melbourne highfalutin lawyers. They don't come cheap, Georgie.
I'd like to present this document to the witness. Does the document in fact record your name as Edward Mabo, as a labourer? You were aged 23 years when you were married, born on the 29th of June 1936 on Murray Island in Queensland, and your father's name was Benny Mabo. Are these matters accurate?
Yes.
Your mother's Christian name was Micah?
Yes.
Was that in fact your biological mother?
No.
Who was the person Benny Mabo?
He was my maternal uncle.
Who was your real biological father?
My biological father was Robert Zezao Sambo.
Shortly after your birth, you were taken to the family of Benny Mabo?
Yes.
Now, have you lived with that family ever since in terms of your life on the island?
Yes. I have been with the Mabos all my life.
I just got a call from a solicitor in Cairns. Sam and David Passy have withdrawn from the case.
They've been got at. It's the government. It's Caloran.
We don't know that.
I should have known this had happened.
So it leaves us with you, Eddie, and James Rice as plaintiffs. We can make it work.
I see through what?
Do you know why Eric Louis wanted to speak to you about that particular plot of land?
Because he knew that I was the actual owner of that place.
How did he know that?
Your Honour, I object to all of that. First of all, I object to Mr. Mabo's assertion that he was the owner. Secondly, I object to the assumption made by the question then asked that Mr. Mabo is indeed the owner.
Do you claim to be the owner of that land?
Yes.
Do you know whether Eric Louis has any knowledge of that?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because my father told him that Kebisaurem was my land.
I object to the whole of the response. Nothing but hearsay.
I'm sorry, Your Honour. With great respect to my learned friend, I do not understand that objection. Did your father or grandfather tell you anything about that burial ground?
They told me that Zogole were buried there.
Is this relevant to anything?
It indicates a connection which in our submission can be made out between his alleged inheritance of that land and the particular use of that land.
Well, if there is a connection, it's totally lost on me.
Did he ever say anything to you about how it was the Zogole were buried there?
What is this relevant to? This is a bit like saying, no one asked me whether they could erect a stall in King George Square, and saying that is relevant to the question whether or not I have control over what happens in King George Square. Now, I assume that in leading the evidence, you lead it as being relevant to some issue, and I cannot see that this evidence is. And if it's not, I'm not inviting you to expend 20 minutes or so seeing if you cannot find something in it that is relevant.
So, do we want the good news or the bad news? Can you hear me, Ron?
Yes, let's have the good news.
Well, actually, there is no good news. Our friends at the Office of Legal Aid Administration say there's no more money for this trial.
We're broke again.
But, and this is very strange indeed, apparently the advisors at the AG's department regard this as a test case worthy of proper consideration by the High Court. So basically, they won't give us any more money to continue before Moynihan, but they just might if we challenge the Declaratory Act in the High Court.
Tell them I'll pay them just to get me out of this courtroom.
So what's the next move? I mean, have they killed us off yet or what?
If I were you, I'd instruct us to throw ourselves on Moynihan's mercy and plead with him to postpone this debacle and go to Canberra. And if Greg's right, well, then, let's face it, we don't have a choice.
And if the law stands, Bioki's law, it's all over, right?
I know we're broke and it feels like we've achieved precisely nothing. But what we're doing here, it's monumental. Let's keep a hold of that.
Really should stop bleeding like this.
How many times?
5, 6 maybe. I don't let the kids answer.
Same voices?
No, different.
Or blackfella voices or white?
I don't know, Quickie. I get that much of a shock, you know? I can't hear them clear.
What do they say?
Stuff from the movies, you know, like, we're gonna kill you. Or do you know where your kids are? That sort of stuff.
I want you to take the kids to Allison's for a couple of weeks. I don't want you in the house.
Get away?
Do as you're told, Nara. It's not funny.
I'm not laughing. And I'm not going either. So you can forget about that right now. I'm getting in this bed, same as I've done every night for 30 years. And if you say one more word, I'm putting cotton wool in my ears and you can shut the house down for all I care, because I'm not going to hear you.
I'll get it. Don't you touch it. In the lounge. Hello.
Eddie, it's Greg. Good news. The High Court found in our favour. 4-3. They found the Declaratory Act unconstitutional.
4-3.
Yes.
But 4-3, just one vote, eh?
Just one.
Not much, but it's enough.
Yes.
It's enough.
It's enough.
Mabo 1, Bioki 0.
Thank you, Greg.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back on the road, eh? One down. Big one to come. Look at all them geckos. Never seen that many. Hey, they must wait till we're asleep and then come out and have a party, eh?
Go to sleep.
What's your word for them? Wampun?
One pun.
Wampun.
Miriam say they're the dead talking to you.
That right? You never told me that.
Didn't want to spook you.
You remember the first time you saw me?
Go to sleep.
Was at my cousin Manny's wedding in Ingham, remember? I was standing on that chair, hanging up streamers. Then I looked over and you was there in the doorway. Sunlight behind you. You were just this silhouette. Beautiful silhouette. I reckon that's the moment I fell in love with you. Even before I knew you was gonna make history.
Cheeky monkey.
Eddie, you do know once I hand you over for cross-examination, we're not allowed to talk to you anymore.
It's all right. I'll be fine. I'm not scared of him.
Mr. Mabo, on the previous occasion, you were asked, when did you discover matters about who your parents were? And you said, I think it was in 1954. Do you remember giving that evidence, Mr. Mabo?
Yes.
Do you recall living with your father, Robert, and his second wife from September 1947 until February 1948?
Where was that?
On Murray Island?
No. No way. I never ever lived on Kiam or anywhere.
Have you heard of documents called social history cards, Mr. Mabo?
Social history cards.
Yes, that were held by the Department of Aboriginal Affairs. Could you have a look at this document, please? Edward Mabo, date of birth 29th of June 1936. And underneath that, do you see? Returned to Zezao Sambo, 20th of September 1947.
That's a lot of garbage.
Do you still insist that you didn't go
It was
to live with...
1947 when my father went to jail in Thursday Island. It was during that time I went to stay with him. The minute he came out of jail, I went back to him.
Do you remember you said the first time you knew that Robert and Poipi Sambo were your natural parents was in 1954 when you saw this in a book at the school teacher's house?
Yes.
That is not a correct statement, is it?
It is very correct.
You went to live with Robert Sambo. You agreed in 1947 and 1948. You said the reason was that Benny Mabo was in jail.
That's right. But at that time, I didn't know that he was my biological father.
Mr. Mabo, you were 11 and a half years of age, and you say that you were unable to absorb the fact that Robert Sambo was your natural father.
Couldn't believe it until I seen the documents.
Mr. Mabo, isn't it the fact that you didn't wish Robert Sambo to be your father? You wished to be a Mabo on the male line, and you have always maintained this position in spite of the fact your father and your brother insisted to the contrary.
Mr. Caloran, long time no see.
Got a bit of a drubbing in there today, I see.
Water off the duck's back.
Well, you will take on the might of the state. But you always were one to get above yourself, Eddie. Now I remember it. Eddie, I know Benny Mabo raised you. Everyone up on Murray knows you're Benny's boy. How would he feel? If Benny were alive today, how would he feel watching you make this big a fool of the Mabo name? How would he face everyone up on Murray watching you down here stuff everything up for everyone?
Mr. Mabo, do you remember giving an interview to a newspaper reporter called John Stanton from the Australian newspaper, which appeared in the Australian on May 28, 1986?
Yes. But what I said to him was not exactly the way he wrote.
If the High Court case succeeds, he will hold the equivalent of a coronation to install himself in his hereditary position as Ait. Did you say that as a joke, or...?
As a joke.
As a joke.
Because I knew that'll never happen.
Mr. Mabo, in your original statement, you say, "The council looks to me for social, political and legal advice. This is because of my hereditary title, which I alone can claim."
I don't know whether I said that to the newspaper man at all.
This is your own statement, Mr. Mabo.
It's in the statement?
It's in the statement.
This system still prevails with me as the modern Ait. My arrival on the island rejuvenates hope amongst the people. I am their leader, to be compared to the elected chairman. I am the leader in the people's memory, according to tradition.
Is that some people on Murray Island?
Some people do believe that would be the case.
But others don't.
Not everybody does. Not everybody believes that at all.
The land that you have described as tar, I put it to you that Caroline Modi has the exclusive use of that land.
She has no exclusive use.
I suggest to you that the person who is entitled to use the land called Utirib is Caroline Modi and not yourself or any other heir or descendant of Benny Mabo.
I saw how cunningly the genealogy was mucked up deliberately to show where she come from.
The problem is it not, Mr. Mabo, that you haven't really resided in a meaningful way on Murray Island since 1956.
They think they can discredit me, make a liar out of me. Think that they can drag my name through the mud. They say that I live with my mother and father just for social security checks. You think that's gonna wreck my case? They're bloody wrong. They're bloody wrong, and I'm gonna prove it.
Quakey, you ever thought of it? What if you don't win?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Where are you going?
To the toilet.
I'm talking to you.
You've been talking for hours. I need to go to the toilet.
You need to listen to me!
I've been listening to you for 9 years. Morning, noon and lunchtime, that's all you talk about! These kids! They've been living on frozen fish and flour for 9 years!
You saying I don't provide? You saying I don't provide?
You want me to wet myself right now?
Get away, Dad! Get away!
You're gonna do that to the kids as well?
Do it to the whole lot of you. If it gets me a bit of respect!
Put your clothes in a bag. Go out the back, over the fence next door. Wait for me there, okay? Come on then, if we're going. Don't want to be driving at night. Kids, your father's here. Let's go. Where is there?
Kanami ready,
Who says I don't provide, huh? We got enough fish here to feed Upper Townsville.
Another 2 more, Dad.
Don't forget to clean up the esky there.
Eddie? I'm Melissa Caston, Ron's daughter.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Dad sent me to help out with the case. Oh, and there's news. Dave Passey's come back as a plaintiff. We were told to ask no questions.
Good to see you.
Looks like our cavalry's arrived. As an individual, you say you have a right to the Passy lands. What do you look towards to say, as against the rest of the world, I have this right?
My people, for hundreds of years, have discovered Murray. They are the original owners up to this day.
What if I wanted to go onto your land, visit, have a picnic? Or Mrs. White? Or another islander such as Meb Saleh or Eddie Mabo? Would they have to ask permission?
They would let us know. At Gyarpit, the exception to that is Koiki Edward Mabo is one of the Zogole. He has the right to go to Gyarpit.
I call Mr. Patrick James Kaloran.
As far as a racial development of a people is concerned, in Australia we have integrated into it, I suppose, traditions of the piping in of the haggis of the Scots, and the Irish have St Paddy's Day and so on. The islanders are no different. They have their traditions, of course, but they've always felt and believed that they were part of Queensland, that all the laws of Queensland, including the land laws of Queensland, if I want to be specific, have applied to them in the same way they apply to all other Queenslanders.
The court will now adjourn for the Honourable Judge Moynihan to consider his verdict.
How's the case going, Eddie? Oh, George, we're gonna win it. No doubt about it.
Good on you, mate. There is no doubt that the evidence establishes that Murray Islanders recognise the continuance of claims to garden plots and recognise or dispute claims of entitlement by individuals in respect of these plots. It seems clear enough that garden land was primarily acquired by inheritance and that remains the practice. It is acknowledged by some at least of Murray Islanders that there is Mabo land on the islands. I am, however, not prepared to find on the evidence that Eddie Mabo was adopted as heir by Benny and Myga Mabo, or that Benny transferred land to him during his lifetime. Eddie Mabo is, in my view, quite capable of tailoring his story to whatever shape he perceived would advance his cause in the particular forum. I would not be inclined to act on his evidence in a matter bearing on his self-interest. David Passy I found to be an essentially honest witness. The Passy family accept that Passy lands are not divided, but used as a family.
What did I do wrong? If he found in favor of Dave and James, what did I do wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong.
Did I claim too much land? But it's my land.
Queensland fired all their cannons at you and he believed them. You're an easy target.
But why? What was I?
In hindsight, perhaps we could have claimed a bit less on your behalf. And claiming to be the I don't think it helped.
He thought I was greedy. Selfish and greedy.
That's how they made it look.
And he believed it.
It's not fair. It's not stinking fair.
He was too articulate. He'd read too much. He was just too smart. He's devastated, Ron. What are we going to advise?
Well, we appeal over Eddie's land or we destroy Terra Nullius.
Vision splendid. You've got to make a hard decision, Eddie. We can appeal Monahan's findings on your behalf. It'll cost money we don't have and it will take time. Queensland could tie it up in court for years. Or we proceed into the High Court. The findings about James Rice's garden plots and Dave Passey's house block, they're enough for us to build a case on. But you need to be separately represented.
If I appeal, it's about Eddie Mabo's land. If I don't, and then you take it to the High Court, it's about all the blackfellas, isn't it?
That's...
Not just the islanders. On the mainland, too.
Look, we believe the High Court's been holding this window open for years. We're afraid that if we delay any longer, we'll lose the moment and set the whole cause back another decade.
And you think you can win?
I'm optimistic.
Maybe I could ask Greg to represent me. Just, you know, in the High Court. Thanks, Nana. You think you wouldn't mind?
I think he'd be honored.
And the name, is it still? Or would it be Mabo and others?
We're not taking your name off the case, Eddie.
Forget the appeal. Go to the High Court.
Here we go, mate. Good luck, eh?
All rise.
Lot of judges.
Mr. Caston. May it please the court, I appear with my learned friend, Mr. B.A. Kean Cohen, for the plaintiffs, David Passy and James Rice.
If it pleases the court, I appear for the first named plaintiff, Mr. Mabo.
What was the status of the natives immediately after the annexation by Queensland? Were they trespassers?
I don't think that matters too much for our concern.
Does it not follow from what you've said, Mr. Solicitor, that at any time from the time of annexation, that the native population could lawfully have been driven into the sea?
It does, Your Honour.
It does, yes.
Mr. Solicitor, I just have some
To you, David and James, everyone on Murray Island, we did as well as we humanly could, all of us. Cheers. Now we wait.
You all right, Dad? It's that same pain. All right.
Oh, darling.
Can't sit up. Can't lie down. Can't sleep with it.
You need to go back to the doctor.
What they gonna do? You've got stress. Take another Panadol.
We'll go to another doctor.
I'm sick of doctors. No more doctors. How was school?
Guess who got 18 out of 20 for her homework?
Well, you're a smarty pants, aren't you? Dad, I want to say something to you.
What?
I wish I'd spend more time at home when the kids are growing up. I just realized, just recently, what a beautiful bunch of people they all turned out to be. I never knew how hard it was for you to grow them up. I wish I'm sorry I didn't help you more.
You know how you can thank me.
How?
Go back to the doctor, please. What sort of cancer?
This is very unorthodox, I know. But Eddie's very unwell. He's very unwell, it seems, and I was just wondering whether there was any chance of moving the decision forward a bit. No, Yes. Look, I understand.
You know what? I'll just rest for a few minutes. I just want to catch my breath back. But you just go. Man, go on. You go for a walk. Sure. Yeah, go on, son. Keep going. I just want to scribble a letter to them up on Murray. Tell them we're still waiting to hear from the High Court.
I don't think we're gonna make it, Mum.
I find for the plaintiffs, I publish my findings accordingly.
Of the conflagration of oppression and conflict which was to dispossess, degrade, and devastate the Aboriginal peoples, and leave a national legacy of unutterable shame.
The nation as a whole must remain diminished, unless and until there is an acknowledgement of and a retreat from those past injustices.
6 members of the court are in agreement that the common law of this country recognises a form of native title.
How's your tea there? You can have another bicky if you like.
Mel!
This is the ABC News. I'm Luke Minot. A historic decision was made in the High Court in Canberra today. By a majority of 6 votes to 1,
I think so, yeah.
the High Court decided in favour of a small group of Murray Islanders in their land claim in the Torres Strait. The ruling is far-reaching consequences.
Wonderful news. Congratulations.
For the first time
Australia has recognised the legal existence of Aborigines prior to white settlement. The case is a moral victory.
Mabo is an historic decision. We can make it an historic turning point. The basis of a new relationship between Indigenous and non-Aboriginal Australians. Hello?
Hello there. This is Brian Cairn Cohen.
After they had left me, the rest of the night was not so bad. I thought about the struggles I've been through over the past years, while the rest of Black Australia waits with me for the High Court decision to be brought down at any time. I also thought about how my wife, the most important person in my life, has stuck to me over many hardships and hurdles, but somehow we made it. My wife has been the most adorable person, a friend closest in my life, a most wonderful lover. And we loved every minute of our lives together.